So now that we have the web interface, you've got a couple of areas. First off, you've got the exploits, which will list a hierarchy of all the different exploits that you have. And you can see they're not all directed against an operating system. A lot of them are operated against or targeted against services. And then the payloads, which we'll talk more about the payloads in a few moments. So to start off with, you need to look at the exploits as a battery and RAM that will be used to break the door down, and the payload is the action you want to take place once you have the door open. For more information, have a look at the Metasploit.com website. If you also just go and Google on Metasploit.com, you'll find 101 tutorials out there. So I'm going to start off with the exploits. And in this example, I'm going to demonstrate a pretty popular exploit as far as somebody wanting to get a grant for budget or perhaps for new equipment. It's going to be the Microsoft RPC DCOM exploit. Now, if you can't find it, you can also choose to filter. So here I have the Microsoft RPC DCOM exploit. Once you select that, it will give you a little bit more information as to the authors, when it was first released, and this is pretty important, the operating systems that it will target. Now, the original RPC DCOM exploit did not affect a Windows 2003 server. However, HD Moore has redeveloped this, and it does affect a pre-Service Pack 1 2003 server. So once you've looked over your information, you would click on your select target. Once you've chosen to select your target operating systems, you would then choose your payload. So do you want to execute the net user add command? So add a user account, bind a shell. In this example, I'm going to bind the VNC injection, or at least I'm going to bind the VNC server DLL. So I'll actually inject the server DLL, therefore you don't have to have VNC running on your target machine. And the effect would be that I get given a shell access to the target system as well as spawning the remote desktop session. So all I have to do is stipulate the target address. We'll use our 2000 server initially. You can modify some of the other parameters, and then there's some advanced options: blind evasion, fragmentation types of attack. We'll leave ours all at the default for now. Typically when you choose the check, it always comes back saying it is not vulnerable. That's just a common issue, not with all of them, but with quite a few of the exploits. So in our instance, I'm going to just choose to exploit that target system. Send in the exploit code. You can see what it's actually doing. It's giving you the exploit output. And as you can see, I then have the VNC DLL being injected into that target or victim machine. Not very efficient as far as the graphics and so on is concerned. Not like the remote desktop protocol, but this is just again to show you an example of what you could do with this type of attack. So I am at this moment in time sitting with a remote desktop to that 2000 server, and I also have a remote command prompt.